Happy St. Patty's Day, West Michigan women. I am Jennifer Pasqua, Content Engagement Manager for Serendipity Media.
And I'm Jill Carroll, Director of Marketing for West Michigan Woman Magazine.
And you can tell we are not in the office this morning. Day one for me, Jill, I don't know, day one for you is officially working out of the office, right?
Yes. Per recommendations and what everyone else is doing, I think that's kind of the trend. If there's a way to work from home, that's what people are doing. At least that's what I'm seeing.
In doing that, we've got to get a little creative. We still want to do what we do on a normal day-to-day basis. And for me, that means going out and doing Facebook Lives in the community. Not necessarily the greatest time to do that. So Jill and I came up with this idea of being able to maybe do morning check-ins with many of you and just kind of have our own coffee, even though we're remote, we're having coffee with each other and talking about things that, we would be likely talking about while we're in the office, right?
Yes. It's so crazy how every day you would come into the office and it's something different. I mean, it's crazy that just a week ago, what we were talking about and kind of, making light of even, and just how serious it's gotten so quickly. And so every day is different. And every day there's new information. And I think what our goal is as a publisher and a news resource is to be helpful, both to our audience and to the people in our community who support us via advertising and that kind of thing. But really, it's just all about, being helpful to you, being positive. This is really a tough time. So, what can we do to make things better?
What I'm dying of is the fact that we both got our dings and our pings and all of the noise is happening, because even though we've got this ability to, we have to be, conscious of not being social face-to-face, but we're all still very connected. And this is a time where we can use technology to our advantage. For sure.
And thank God for it. I mean,
no kidding. We'll get a little stir crazy. Let's talk about that, Jill. I mean, one of the things that you've been working on is a blog, and you can find that right now at westmichiganwomen.com, and you click on the link to get to the blog. But what are you talking about in this blog, Jill?
Well, I'm talking about what I think a lot of people are talking about is, really accepting this as sort of our current state of reality, and what can we do? There are things that we cannot control. There are things that we can control. But focusing on those things that we can't control doesn't make sense. That doesn't really do much good of anything. So I offered some tips. Definitely practicing healthy habits. If we don't take care of ourselves through this, then everything else can go really bad. Choosing to be healthy and practicing healthy habits is one thing that we can control.
Okay, so one thing we cannot control, you and I, as the mother of boys, just a few minutes ago, I know one of your kids popped in, it's hard because there's no school. So you've got to do your work. Kids are still trying to live their lives.
Yeah, well, I think as moms, our first inclination is to take charge. What are we going to do to control this? And I think we need to give ourselves a little grace. I think we need to give our teens some grace. They are at an age where they don't really necessarily like being around us and at home. So this is tough for them. So I think practicing empathy and understanding that this, from their perspective, this is like telling them they can't hang out with their friends or their girlfriends is hell. The thought of that is terrifying. So I think that's number one is before you go in with this whole plan of, wake up at 8:45, shower, make your bed, let's just sit back, relax a little bit. Let's see how this plays out. A lot of the schools haven't put together their plans for academics yet.
Sure.
So, if you can just, I don't know how specific you want me to get in. I started like a little list.
Look at that. That's not a little list, Jill. That's
It's just some ideas, like, I think definitely, limiting screen time as much as you can, but also understanding that that's how they connect with their friends, be it via their phones or gaming. let some of that go, because those are the things that will allow them to feel connected with their friends within reason. And you have to decide what's right for your family.
Sure.
Some people that's 2 hours, and when then you look at what they're actually spending, and you're like, oh my gosh. But I use on my phone a screen time, the via Apple, the screen time app
that you can kind of monitor.
I can monitor it. I can put limits on it. And I really like that, because I can say, hey guys, you know what? You've been on it for 3 hours now. Like, you need
to get outside, Get
outside. Doesn't mean you can't have it back, but it's time for a break. Yeah. One thing that you asked for a personal story the other day, my son Luke just started rearranging his room. And, so that was something that he can do that makes him, feel like he has some control over this, and can do some things that are kind of creative and in his way. And that doesn't cost anything. That doesn't, that doesn't take you, put him in contact with. It's a solitary thing. So that's one example. Teenagers like to rearrange their rooms. You probably remember that. I don't know what that is, but they just do.
They also like to take up new hobbies. Did your son take up a new hobby?
Yes. He's been having an interest in skateboarding. So my husband took Luke down to downtown Rockford to the Rogue River skate shop, because I'm like, how can we know we want to get him a skateboard, and how can we support our local businesses? So I think I shared a picture with you for that, but he went and so that has really been great. He's outside. It's solitary. He's practicing watching YouTube videos on how to do certain tricks. And so that's a really great idea. So finding something that maybe they've expressed an interest in before. Maybe it's a science kit or something. And really giving them those resources to be, try something new that involves, moving your body.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, despite the fact that many gyms and many fitness centers have decided to close their doors, there are a lot of different options that they are offering in lieu of the ability to go to class. So one of the places that I really love is Funky Buddha. And what they've done is on their Facebook page, if you head over to their Facebook page, they have a link explaining why they decided to close down, but then they have a link to a 10-minute loving kindness meditation. And I listened through the entire 10 minutes and felt good. It felt good to kind of just, clear your mind. And then, of course, my friends over at Allegro Coaching and Title Boxing, they have put links up on their pages to do in-home workouts. So you still have the ability to move. And
that's awesome.
I think that's awesome, because I truly believe in the ability of exercise to have a positive impact on your mental health. And right now, more than ever, everybody is cooped up inside and they need that ability to kind of have a release, right? And even working from home, I think it's important to take that hour lunch, maybe go walk around your neighborhood, have that ability to kind of step away. Because like you said, even as a mom, Jill, monitoring how much your kids are online, as adults, we need to take our own advice and step away, take that lunch hour to regroup, and then, dive back into work. It's so important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes. And then my friend just pinged me, I guess AM Yoga has some online stuff too that they're doing. And so that's great. So we really appreciate all of those businesses that are, this is a crummy time for them, but they're still wanting to be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the key. And that is what is going to bring people back once this is over. And so, just moving bodies, I love that quote, you're only one workout away from a better mood. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you have to go crazy, but
sure.
Like I said, just that mental break and a brisk walk, the fresh air. I mean, how fortunate are we that it's spring? I'm looking outside my window right now. My crocuses are starting to pop up, and otherwise, it's kind of an ugly time of year, but really, this puts things in perspective and really makes you appreciate the beauty of our state of Michigan and everything outside.
Okay, what I think would be wonderful is if we could get people, our West Michigan women, to share a picture of what they're doing during their lunch hour. We're forcing you to get away from the laptop. And then when you're done, you can come back on, log on, and post a picture, put it in our comments. I think that'd be fun just to kind of see how everybody's dealing with it, right?
Yes, that's
so let's get them to do that. And Jill and I are going to check in with you again tomorrow. And hopefully we can have more conversations just like this one.
Yeah. And if you have any ideas of what you want us to chat about, please share that with us, and we'll be happy to try to be helpful.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.